Today, I'm here at historic Jamestown with my wife, about to explore the amazing Archaearium Archaeology Museum, a place that preserves the stories and artifacts of some of the earliest colonists in North America. Come along with us as we discover people who have digged up the past. That's coming up next. On May 13, 1607, over 100 men and boys marched ashore on Jamestown Island and changed the course of modern history. Virginia looked like paradise to the colonists. The quantity and variety of plants and animals prompted one colonist to remark, "God hath filled the elements of the earth, air, and waters with his creatures, good for our food and nourishment." Described as excellent and very rich in gold and copper, Virginia also had other commodities like wood, sassafras, and pearls that the Virginian Company hoped to market. A quartz crystal arrow point, as clear as glass, made by Virginia Indians. A silver sixpence with the bust of English King James I, one of the most powerful monarchs in Europe. These objects symbolize the two cultures that met on the banks of the James River in 1607. Each of these artifacts was valued by its respective culture as an object of exchange. The point was treasured by the Indians, not only for its beauty but for hunting food. The coin was worth its weight in silver to the English and could be used to buy food, except in Virginia. King James I granted a charter in April 1605 to the Virginia Company for exploration, trade, and settlement in Virginia, an area of North America that today stretches from Maine to North Carolina. Headquartered in London, the Virginia Company consisted of gentlemen, nobles, and merchants who hoped the colony would provide financial gain for them as well as for England. Because Jamestown was both a business enterprise and a military venture, a significant percentage of the first colonists were well-trained and expert soldiers. The frontier colony needed military men to protect against the actuality of Indian assaults and the possibility of Spanish attack. Crossing the Atlantic. Following a route to the Americas similar to that of Columbus, the first colonists arrived in Virginia after a voyage lasting 5 months. Leaving London in December 1606, the colonists first sailed south toward the Canary Islands off the coast of Africa. Pushed by the trade winds, they crossed the Atlantic to the West Indies. There they stopped to take on fresh water and supplies. A northerly sail along the east coast of America brought them to the Chesapeake Bay in 16 days. The men finally arrived at Jamestown on May 13, 1607. Although they had no detailed knowledge of the Chesapeake Bay area, the Virginia Company sent their colonists off with general guidelines to settle in a profitable and safe locale. The company warned the colonists to locate a navigable river, but be not hasty in landing until they found the best site. The expedition first landed on April 26, 1607 at Cape Henry, near where the Chesapeake Bay enters the Atlantic Ocean. Following the Virginia Company's suggestion to settle 100 miles from the river's mouth, the ships then entered the bay and sailed about 70 miles up the James River before turning back. They were unable to find a suitable location far upriver that would both ensure security from the much-feared Spanish and that would not interfere with any Indian settlement. Jamestown Island, the site preferred by the colonists for the highest seniority, Edward Maria Wingfield, was finally selected. Despite its marshes and lack of freshwater springs, it was the best strategic location for the settlement because, as an island that became an isthmus at low tide, it fit the company's suggestion for a defensible settlement on some island that is strong by nature. A blockhouse defended the narrow land bridge. Even though the fort stood only 36 miles from the mouth of the river, not the 100 miles suggested by the Virginia Company, because of tides, winds, and bends in the river, it took almost a day to sail the distance. This provided time for sentinels to give advance warning of any approaching enemy ships.